guys, that's your Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone today. I am joined by Hades, Simon, Hades. It's been a hot minute. How you doing, man? Welcome.
I'm doing well, man. Yeah, I'm doing well. Like you say, it's been a minute. People keep saying, when are you guys going to collab again? Yeah. You know, it's been a while. Have you fallen out with Ash? I'm like, guys, chill. It's coming.
I got a comment asking if we've had a falling out.
Yeah.
So I think I responded. I'm like, kinda. No, I'm just joking. But it has been a minute.
I was like, I don't collab without cracking anymore. I've seen your shop.
He's out of touch. I get it. Dude, how has life been? Obviously, we actually do chat quite a bit behind the scenes. So it's not like you're a stranger, but you're a stranger to my audience, man. Give us some updates really quickly before we get into the actually trash champions in the game. Straight up. And I don't know your list, and you don't know my list. So I'm really curious if we have duplicates. We picked out 5 of the worst champions that player needs to buff like immediately.
I've been demoted. No, I'm just holding down the fort. Aaron's job is so easy.
Well, before that though, man, Godforge is close. Beta signups are upon us. You can see some of the footage in the background from the latest teaser. Give us the lowdown. How can people sign up for the beta signups? How are things going?
Yeah. So you can just come to the website fateless.gg. It's really cool, man. We've got like 35,000 people signed up already. You know, the Discord is buzzing. We're sort of play testing the game on a daily basis now. We've got the characters going in, their VFX, their animations. It's cool. It's such a cool thing to be a part of, and obviously, you know, you're also a part of it in the background with some of the work that we do, and I think I see it day to day, and you sort of see it, you know, week to week. And
I do, yeah.
It's really rewarding, honestly, seeing some of the work that's being done, and now getting to the point where the community are really sort of buzzing about it. It's like, you know, when's it coming? When can we play? So beta in May, man. It's gonna be super fun.
Beta in May. Sign up now. You got like a month or so. To go ahead and sign
pretty
up,
much.
So.
We're probably going to close signups off around the 1st of April, just so we've got a good gauge of numbers coming in. And then in terms of the actual beta, it's going to be, we're kicking off in May, and there'll be like groups of people playing at a time, you know, with different challenges to do and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's going to be super cool, man.
It's going to be awesome. I'll obviously be covering it here as well as on Hades and everywhere else. I mean, it's so cool. 2 quick notes. Number 1 is cool to see so many creators who want to get involved out the rip.
Yeah.
A, and B, it is awesome. The thing I didn't expect about Godforge is how many like AAA all-star like goats from other games in the industry that would be joining the team. Like it's a stacked team. So
yeah, honestly, working with some of these people on a day-to-day basis, and when we're interviewing these people about coming into the team, myself and Sham were like, no, I'm not sure about these guys. Like, I don't see how we could even afford them or attract them. You know, for some of the stuff they've done in the past, they've literally worked on some of my favorite games ever. And I'm like, damn. And they're joining the team. They're making like inroads with us. They're really kind of like revolutionizing what we already had planned. And it's just been this phenomenal experience, honestly. Like last 2 years of my life, going from, you know, starting Fateless and starting this kind of like dream of what we're going to do to this point where, you know, we're starting to get ourselves now ready with a game that functions and looks cool and all that type of stuff. Yeah, man, it's been a wild couple of years, honestly.
I love it, man. And this sounds like an infomercial for Godforge, but it's not. Like, there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of really quality time, individuals, passion going into this. So you guys, I'm looking forward to y'all checking it out when it comes out live. All right, Simon. I'm so used to calling you Simon now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Hell, Hades. What you got, man? What you got? You started out. You're the guest. Who's the tippity top of the iceberg of trashy ass Raid Shadow Legends champions?
Don't you think that's a little harsh?
Okay, man. Well, every time we do these videos, like for me, these are like total trash legendaries. They need a buff. Sometimes in the comments, people are like, HH, you have got no idea what you're talking about. But for me, I'm going into Bannerlords and I'm going for Minaya.
Yeah, you said Lazarius, right? That's your first one?
What? Okay.
Yeah,
it's Taras. No, we're going for Minaya. for my first legendary that needs a buff.
Minaya, who got a buff. This guy not happy with it. I'm not happy either.
Are you a Minaya appreciator now?
I like Beauty and the Beast. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess.
Do you like Disney, Hades?
Do I like what? Sorry.
Disney movies.
Like, I like a few. My kids like Disney movies a lot, so I've watched a lot.
What's your favorite if you had to pick?
I'm not like a big lover, honestly.
Okay, these are the cutting edge questions that the viewers tuned in for.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite if you had to choose one?
Oh man.
Look like a Little Mermaid guy.
I'd see. You know what? I don't even know if they're Disney movies. This is the thing. Like I don't know. I just know kids movies, right? So.
Okay. All right. Well, give us anything. Give us a movie.
So I like Tangled. I don't think it's Disney.
Okay.
But yeah.
Whatever. We'll go with it.
It's fun. It's funny. It's cool. Yeah. So Minaya, I just think like she's a support that doesn't have a place to support. They have buffed her, I think probably twice, honestly. Mm-hmm. She's got some healing going on. She's got block debuffs, which did make her a decent amount better. But I still just feel like she doesn't have a home in this game. And even her pairing, so she's paired with Coronar, like he could probably go on this list, honestly. Like it's just like okay.
Yeah, the beast.
So I really feel like the pairing should be rock solid in the game.
Yep.
And yeah, for me, it's just weak. Just weak. Needs some debuffs in there. Needs kind of a bit more juice in her passive.
Yeah.
She relies on being killed, which is never a good sign for a champion.
No, unless you're like Sun Wukong or something. That's about it.
Yeah. Like, or she needs like an instant revive or something. Like she needs to be the one who comes back, not someone else. Like
like she comes back and fully heals the team, something like that. But, I hear you, man. I was also disappointed in the buff, man. Like a 4-turn cooldown. They added the block debuffs to the A3, but like it's not enough. I can see how people could say, oh, she helps me in progression. Her base stats are nice. She's fast. She got speed, aura, but still, I'm equally as disappointed. I like Coronar a lot too, but I also feel like, to your point, he wouldn't be on my list. I mean, he's not on yours, but like,
no, he's not on the list. But he's
really cool. But he needs also a buff to those cooldowns.
Yeah, so I think she's still in that mix.
That's a really good one, man, to start things out on. I've got one. I'm gonna go dwarves. This was probably on nobody's. If people had to guess who our choices would be, no one would have picked this guy. But and by the way, we're not going to pick Doom Tower legendaries because I feel like all of them, Chromax and Ginro and Granjar, like dude, whatever, they all suck. Not really, but okay. Boragar the Elder. Boragar, you familiar with this dude?
Yeah. So I don't have him actually, but yeah.
Okay, well you don't want him. Congratulations. I actually tried to talk sometimes the worst champions, Hades, are the ones that you try to talk yourself into. You're like, you're pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, he's the only one who does this. Yeah.
Like, wait a second. He's got a shield and 2 buffs. But the problem is this guy sucks. He's got an increased speed and an increased resistance on a 6-turn cooldown.
On a 6, man, yeah.
On a 6, man. No, you've got epics that can do this,
Yeah.
But like, okay, so I get it. The increased resistance at the time, especially, was reserved for 4-turn cooldowns, kind of like Perfect Veils are. But now that's not the case anymore. And the increased speed, who wants it on a 4-turn cooldown from a legendary?
And like, where's the turn meter boost? Like, something needs to go with that. Like, give him some more.
This is whole kit, and he's got a shield.
And he removes 1 debuff. Like, give him a full cleanse. Like, there's so many things that could just level it up. But even then, you're right. You need something else.
I think that this is a low-key sucky legendary that no one really, they don't talk about him. But man, he's very, very bad. I think I hate the cooldown. Anyway, so he's my choice. He's maybe not the worst, but he's in my top 5. Who you got next?
Yeah, I like it. Okay, we're gonna go. Actually, we're gonna go for a high elf.
Ooh, okay. He was on my list. He's on my actually there's 2 of them.
And this is I don't know if this is on your list.
There's 2. You're gonna go incarnate.
I'm going Shirimani.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Hades curveball, man, you really threw me off. Okay, Shirimani,
and I actually think probably 2 things. Like this champion, the bones of this champion is right. Okay, so we've got a nice AoE freeze. It's on a long cooldown on a 4. Probably could do with that, just reducing 1, but it's still decent. This A1 though, like just make her a Fire Knight champion, and then we've got a winner here. So let's make sure that this is a 100% chance to freeze on her A1. And then suddenly she's a Fire Knight champion. She's got a purpose in life. And then she needs some sort of passive, right? Some sort of passive, which is interesting as well. Probably something like, whenever a freeze goes off, she gets a turn meter fill. So suddenly that turn meter fill will proc on Fire Knight, and then she's got this kind of like synergy going off, and she'll get turn meter fill in when the freezes wear off on enemies for like wave content as well. And then suddenly we've got a champion that can do stuff and has got a purpose, rather than just like, I might use her in Cursed City as my freeze and then hope I get back round to that freeze before they all start beating me up. So yeah.
Okay. She wouldn't be in my top 5 worst, but it's hard to go to bat for like, she's amazing, Hades, you're wrong. I do like for a long time, maybe it's because we're both old school. We talk about, by the way, we did a collab on Hades' channel, by the way, and we talked about all our most game-changing champions and how we're super old school, and like maybe some of these will make your list of worst, who are also your most game-changing. But all that being said, is Shirimani, she was one of my first, and for a long time, she was the best. She was the best AoE freeze in the game.
Sure.
So maybe it's that.
But if you look at that now, though, man, like that's now on a 4-turn cooldown, and she has to be booked to get, and it's a lot of book.
It's not a bad heal though on the A2.
Heal's good. Heal's good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
okay. But let me put you really on the hot seat. Would you rather have, you're starting a brand new account and Plarium says, Hades, you're our top guy. We love you. We're gonna give you a free legendary. You got a choice.
Your dream.
Shirimani or Pixniel? Who are you gonna go with?
Well, they're kind of similar. Like
they are very. That's why I asked it. A 4-turn freeze.
Yeah, I mean,
could argue Pixniel brings more to the table. More books too.
I think Pixniel's are now a better champion than Shirimani, but still easily is on the list. Like she could easily be on this list, man.
She's an honorable mention. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's like, I thought about Adelyn when I chose Shirimani, but Shirimani pipped it for me. So it's
funny you went to High Elves, bro, and I was gonna guess Incarnate, who's not on my list, but she was so disappointing. She might as well be. But the crazy thing is, I have a High Elf who's neither of those champions. Any guess?
Let's have a look. Is it Aleksandr?
It is Aleksandr.
Aleksandr, yeah.
I was an Aleksandr apologist.
Wouldn't you be so upset? Like, if you've been made immortalized into this game as like this big ticket item, and you're known for being like the headshot professional in a game, right? And it's like,
he was a Navi pro. What is he? A League of Legends player?
Counter-Strike
player. My bad. So he was, kind of like Ninja. He was a real life person they turned into a character. They gave Ninja this OP exclusive champion. They gave Alex Simple this dude.
I mean,
anyway,
how does he not have an A3, which is literally just called headshot? And it's like, if someone is less than 50% HP, they die, and it's block revived. Like, it's just this guy's known for being a sniper.
This guy
he's a sniper.
He's a Siege Hulk. He's a Siege Hulk is what he is. He's an epic. He's a mediocre / maybe worse. He probably less damage than the Siege Hulk, honestly.
Probably does.
I was an apologist for him for a while. Right when they added him, listen. A lot of players could use an AoE decreased defense. It's not that bad. But now, man, that was 3.5-4 years ago when I was an apologist, and I gave him like a C- then. Now he's even like, he really is an epic. He really is a very basic AoE decreased defense epic who deals a little bit of damage, who's very squishy and not a great nuker. That's it. So Aleksandr, he really needs an update, man. He does, simple right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Who you got?
Okay, dude. We're going Skinwalkers. We're going for.
You took my guy.
Guess it. Guess which one.
I'm not even gonna. Norog.
It's Norog. Yeah,
it's
for
Norog.
Sure, man.
He was on my list. Okay. I got a sub. No worries.
Give this guy a buff. Like, he's such an OG that his kit is now just, it's just out of date. Like, his passive is cool, right? I like his passive, but even now, there's epics that come out with passives that are better than this. And but his passive I like. In fairness, I like his passive.
Yeah.
He needs another skill or something. Like, his A2 block buffs. That's all it's doing.
That's it.
Block buffs. He's a legendary champion. Epics come out now, or Rares come out with this. Epics come out with like block buffs plus decreased defense plus they cleanse something. Like, he's so out of date. It's insane.
Dude, This is nuts because what they're going to do is they're going to give him a Minaya buff, right? They're going to give him like a buff from go to F- to D-.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work that
honestly,
needs to be done with Norog, you know?
He's basically in need of a rework. That's the problem. Like, he needs another skill, and he needs his original skills updated to be relevant. Maybe they just make him into like a full Chimera type of champ or something. I don't know, but you know, he's got block active skills right now. He's got block buffs. If you give him a couple more, maybe if you give him like those combination of buff and debuffs you need, you know, in relation to each other for Chimera, suddenly he's relevant. But he's not relevant at all right now. Like, he's useless right now.
The block active skills on his A1, then you got block buffs. I don't know, keep the passive and put on like a leech and a decrease attack or something and make him all about damage mitigation. I don't know. Damage mitigation, heals. Who knows? But man, like, when Hydra first came out, I was like, okay, this guy could be an interesting option because block buffs was actually, it feels like just yesterday, but when Hydra was released, it was actually like, you know, whatever, 2.5, 3 years ago. And at that point, they had not released a lot of these block buff champions that are now in vogue. So he was like an all right, mediocre option, but now, man, he's so right. Weak now. He was on my list too. He's really.
We got one that checks off against each other. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
We do. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe snipe one of yours in Altan.
Yes. We just spoke about one on my channel, man.
Yeah. I don't want to foreshadow too much, but we did mention him in the Hades collab as well. But this guy, the red monster, man, I remember watching with the nipple rings. He's got nice. Is that what he has? Is that what it is?
Yeah, man. This is.
I never even noticed that until this moment. Cool.
It's a weird way of living, but he's rocking it. He's liking it.
Yeah, I kind of like Ugo. Like, if I had to tier list every nipple ring, I'm going Mighty Ukko. Those are some.
I did not sign up for this.
Anyway. No, I don't want to exit the game. Maybe I should exit the game. I accidentally close the game. All right, cool. Anyway, I think it's a sign from Telerian gods to get back on task here. Altan sucks. He used to be the man back in the day. He's got the defensive aura. He's got the increased defense. He's got the decreased attack on the A1. That's it. He has a stupid random revive when he's killing enemies, which he's not doing, not anymore. You know, and he used to be
back in the day. He used to like nowadays. I mean, if you're not ignoring basically half of someone's defense with a hit, you're not killing anyone nowadays. Like this guy just can't get it. So he used to be, by the way, I mentioned this a bit on my channel, but I built arena teams with this guy in mind that he would be my one shotter. You know, he'd put increased defense on himself, then he'd slap someone really hard with that A2. And then he'd be picking up other people on my team, and it was like quite a fun defensive comp.
I mean,
not anymore.
This guy, you got to kill somebody to get a crappy revive, 30% HP with no turn meter, and then you got to kill somebody again just to get a shield. Just to get a shield, you got to kill somebody.
It's
man.
crazy. It's
he
crazy.
Is the worst. If he was an epic, I'd be disappointed. Like that's how bad. So Altan needs a big
please
buff.
On the buff list. Come on, player.
I mean, what would you even do with this dude? I mean, like, it's like he's so bad that you can go in so many different directions. He's
a bit like Norog. He's in the same camp as Norog.
He really is.
He needs dramatic change. You know, like the A2. I think it does need to ignore 50% defense. I think it needs to be an AOE hit. You know, his A1 decrease attack probably should just be straight 100%. I don't know, probably with another debuff as well. Honestly, like that.
Do you make him the first champion in the game to like I don't know, to give like increased defense, strengthen, and ally protection? Like, do you make him a massive? I don't know, man.
Or maybe give him like a net crit style passive as well to protect other people.
Idea. I like that idea. Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with this guy, but as it is right now, basically useless.
You could give him like a Necret style ally protection, but then anytime somebody under an ally protection kills an enemy, they revive. You know, like that could be you know?
Yeah, anyway, I like that.
Plarium, what is it this time? Buff him up. Who you got next?
Okay, next one, so we are going for Banner Lords.
Okay.
This is one of the champs I've actually got as a +4. Raglin. Sorry, man, you should have guessed. Would it have been on your list?
I would not have guessed Raglin. No. All right. Why are you going to throw shade at Raglin? She's got the miracle.
firstly, best revive in the game. That's for a single target. I think so anyway. And it's on a low cooldown.
It's hard to beat full turn meter on a 2-turn. I'm not gonna lie, right?
You're like, damn, that is insane. But it's just not enough going on anymore. So there was a time where she was like the arena go-to, but you really need, for her to be in that sort of role, she needs damage mitigation built in for your team. Like, it could be that they just change this revive and put Stone Skin on that champion. Then you've got an interesting Void Legendary. Then you've got someone that
you damn right you do.
or maybe it's like whenever she casts her A2, she gets Stone Skin. Like, there's got to be something that makes her stay alive to make the A3 cool. And it used to be cool that you could just build a tanky, but people melt through tanky nowadays. You know, if there's not the other mitigation like like a Duchess type of passive or inbuilt type of mechanics like a Marishka revive, or there's got to be a reason that you don't just take her out, and she gets taken out super easy now. So
no, I do hear you on it'd be cool to have a preemptive death on Raglin, to your point. I love her turn meter fill on the A1, like that's really really solid. And I like the Mercy. The heal can be significant. It's weird that it scales off of her attack. I'd like to get rid of that.
Man, give it off her HP.
Yeah.
Or give us something where like resistance factors in, so that off of attack makes 0 sense for this champion. Like 0.
Yeah. I mean, scale it off of her HP or just give her a nice big heal. 30% of their max HP or something, or her max HP. And then bring it down to a 3-turn. I mean, we want our cleanses, especially on a Void Legendary, to be on a 3-turn. So, all that being said, I totally agree that she needs a buff. I wouldn't have her as a top 5 worst, but
in Void Legendaries, can you think of many Void Legendaries that you'd rather buff?
Sure. I'll go with I think that they really screwed up the Angar buff. I want to see another Angar buff.
Oh, yeah. Angar's in the mix.
The Fortis buff, man, these are, the sad thing is these guys, I've already, they've already buffed them. But Fortis...
this is often the case, yeah.
Yeah. Whirlum, I think they could do another buff to Whirlum, too. I don't know. Who else would you put in that? I think I'm forgetting. I think you're putting me on the spot here, but I think...
No, I'm just curious, because for me, she's the one that stands out to me as the Void Legendary that I'm like, you just didn't do it. She's not a Void Legendary anymore, and that's... So, sometimes you've got to just take that into account, what role she's playing. And in this game, she's meant to be one of the top tier champions.
When you pull a Void Legend, Coronar, but when you pull a Void Legendary, you're right. Like, you need them to be an absolute like, you don't want to be disappointed, Like, all these Ogrins, except for Grazer and Gurgo, they did a good job with the Gurgo. But man, I actually pulled Togron. He's not that bad, but like he's just not what you want nowadays.
I pulled Diamants.
Oh, what do you think about this
man?
guy?
And I'm just like, what?
Yeah. Even Bellatar, man. Like, it's cool that he's a reviver, but he's very meh. Anyway, okay.
Anyway,
we're getting off the.
Yeah. There's plenty we could do.
I'm doing it again, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with. Wait, do you have the other guy that we talked about as your last guy?
I've got him or one other, honestly. So I'm going to honorable mention. I think I might honorable mention him.
I'm going to piss off all my viewers for the 20th time because I've mentioned this champion, and I actually told you this off air. I was like, I was going to include Chronicler Adelyn, but people always get mad when I say she sucks. But you took my Norog, so I have to. We're putting her in, Coach. Chronicler Adelyn. I don't think they're going to buff her because she was free, and why would Planet ever do a nice thing like that, right? But I think I get it, because every time I talk smack, I get dozens of comments and be like, I use her as my Sand Devil go-to. She's amazing. Yeah. And I guess my counter to that, and maybe I'm wrong, like I'm happy to be wrong, but my counter to that is like, dude, Muckstalker's better, and he's a farmable rare from campaign. I'm not saying that you can't get utility. You can get utility out of every champion that we mentioned in today's video, but to me, she's trash Ola. She's so... I can't believe they gave her to... They have the gall. She's worse than Skeletor. If Skeletor's here, she's like over here. She's barely on my little meter. I just think she's so bad, man. Like, she feels very, 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 very epic-y to me, What about you? Do you see any redeeming qualities here?
So I feel like the same. I think, she's basically a Sand Devil champ. which means that you'd have to do Sand Devil with the normal mechanics. And, you know, she's just not good enough at doing that job. You know, she just doesn't bring enough that's interesting for that role. Yeah. So I actually am all for having some champions that have just got this like hard focus. This is the area they should play.
That's fair.
But she needs to like excel at it massively. You know, so probably I think it's almost unfair that she needs to be booked to get 100% sleep out. But
that's
then
what I'm saying, man. Because
you know, like give her this laundry list, like almost like a reho set of debuffs that comes after it, and you know, give her a passive that is more like a Godseeker passive that, you know, at least gets your team back in the game. Because if you get one shot in that fight, then damn, you're out. You know, that should be how you're focusing.
Give a revive on death on that A2 to all allies or something.
Yeah,
you know? I don't know.
I agree, man. She's felt weak since she came out.
Massive shout out to you, by the way. I mentioned it on your channel too, but I had Bront on recently, the #1 free-to-play in your contest. But man, you are like, there's like a billion competitors, and you're number 3, I want to say.
I'm 3 at the moment. Yeah,
Dude,
it's tight, man. It's tough. It's tough. But I enjoyed it a lot, actually. It's probably the most fun I've had on a free-to-play series.
That's insane, man. You must be playing a hell of a lot on that.
Yeah, well, so I kind of like. It's a sad life right now. I go to bed playing this game on my phone. I wake up, set it up, playing this game on my phone, and then obviously I do my content as well through the day, so it's on all the time. Like, yeah, the free-to-play is life right now. I'm cranking, trying to get up there. I'm a competitive guy, right? I want to win. So
yeah, and it's your contest, so I can understand like your name on it. You ever go to bed playing Raid? And then you like wake up with a hot ass phone on you, like you forget, like you literally fall asleep.
Sometimes you know the worst thing, right?
You're like, I'm at 0 battery.
The worst, as a free to play, you don't want to go to bed with like full energy and stuff like that. So the worst thing is if I'm playing and it crosses midnight and I go in and I collect the daily reward and it's 500 energy, and you're like, no,
no,
it's the worst, dude. You're like, do I stay up another half an hour, like burn through this energy somehow, or do I leave it? So
yeah, I'd love to be relatable and say I know that life, but I don't. So I'm not envious though. I say all that not just to give you props, but also say if you pull the Chronicler Adelyn, whatever, is there any world on your free to play that you would invest?
No. So I play against her a lot in Arena right now. Like so many people have got her because she was a freebie, and she's often the last person alive just because of her affinity. Like, you know, the Alice isn't taking her out first time, but just she doesn't do anything that's worth doing. I think she would be just someone that just like ends up, you know, you'd probably take her to 50 just because of faction wars or something, but
get a little
that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So I guess that she was my. Wait, do you have one more? Yeah,
I've got one more. Yeah, I've got one more. So
that means I have.
Yeah, you must have one more as well.
I sure do. Okay.
So this one, I'm probably going to get a load of crap for, honestly, in the chat, but I feel quite strongly that in the night revs.
Oh boy. I'm scared where you're gonna go. You're already taking a shot at Raglin, bro.
yeah. This is going to be a contentious one, but I feel like Hedgie should go in the mix. Who? And Hegemon.
Oh man, okay, you're hating on Hegemon now, Hades.
So not hating on him, so Hegemon had this kind of like, I've got a purpose in this game and I can do this thing better than anyone in the game, right? It was annoying to play against in Arena, but he was really impactful in the game. And I feel like Stone Skin has just nullified this champion. And I don't know, maybe you play a load more live Arena than I do. Does he ever come up? Is he ever like a threat to you?
He's had a very recent renaissance, not in the way that he used to be clear. Like he's not, you don't see him a ton, but when you go again, so like obviously speed is like kind of, now it's the meta again, right?
But back to meta, yeah.
Yeah, with Shuzhen's, you know, like being one of the most dominant out there and like handing it to everybody else. So like when you know that in live Arena, you know that you're very unlikely to outspeed, like let's just say they're going Shuzhen, Arbiter, and you know, oh man, they're going to try to toast me on speed. Then you could either run like old school, like Hegemon or Tormund, as a meta counter. So, you know, you see him a little bit, but it is very
interesting. So maybe this is misplaced, because my thought was he's kind of lost his place in the meta. And like, if he had something in his A2 that said, can ignore Stone Skin, or basically that can ignore Stone Skin, then suddenly he's extremely meta again. Yeah. Or basically can place his block active steals through Stone Skin. That would be, I think that would be quite cool. So at least his abilities start to come out, because he's actually super impactful as well against like mythicals if you can get this away. But
yeah. No, you're right.
I found that I don't really use them anymore. And yeah, again, maybe it's just me being out of the meta a bit.
No, man, I gave a big reaction, but truthfully, like, dude, he's very niche at the very least, you know? Like, he's always been an arena dude. And, you know, when his heyday, he was arena.
Oh, he was like,
there was no Stone Skin,
a must-have.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a must-have at one point. Yeah.
I'm wondering if he'll have a second chance at life in Stone Cleaver, the new set where you ignore Stone Skin. Or excuse me, where you do more damage.
Well, you do more damage, but I don't know if you've seen. Have you tried it? Have you tested it?
I have not. No. I mean, I have it, but I don't have a 9-piece, so I can't get the 100%. Did you do it on the dead build? Is it underwhelming?
Well, I've only used it on the test server very early on. Like, yeah. So I've not. I also have not tried it full blast. So I guess judgment to be held. But
my whole thing is the answer might be absolutely no. But if you get the Cracking Roots blessing that ups your damage to Stone Skin, plus that set, and you put it on a Hegemon, could that kill Stone Skin? Could he be back in the meta? You know? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. And then this is the weird thing with some of their mechanics, because sometimes, like, take that blessing, once Stone Skin is removed, you're not then passing through more damage. So you need to hit so much harder than you should need to for it to be a thing. Like, I don't know. We'll see if it plays through that way.
There's not that many champions that can even pop Stone Skin out there, period. So they need a lot of help. But I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm grasping at straws, but it'd be cool to try out if I had.
Yeah, definitely be cool. And again, like I probably you know, when he was in his heyday, you're like, damn, this guy's annoying. And it came out with all sorts of different meta comps as well. Like, some people were just running with the A1 and it was like, I'm just going to push someone's turn meter back and, you know, and run him in like a provoke set, or run him in a taunt set or something, like to just try and like completely nullify a speed comp. So he was like the original anti-speed comp. And we've kind of gone full circle now that, you know, speed comps are coming back in.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so maybe it's like, maybe he's coming back in naturally, but
a little bit. But I hear you though. I would love to see, you know, even if, like, yes, he's probably one of the most dynamic arena nukers out there, even if he's not meta, just because of what he always goes first, right? Like, that's a very unique ability. But it'd be cool if he had a little bit more versatility anyway, right? Like, you know, I mean, you know, like, brought a little bit something a little different to the table, a little bit more, like, just added to his kit, you know, which would be pretty cool. All right, now I need to come up with another one on the fly here. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, actually, I'm gonna steal yours, man. I'm surprised you didn't go with them. Another one that. I
nearly did. So yeah, probably should have.
No, I think it's Septimus. Yeah. So we'll talk a lot about Septimus and the little history behind Septimus on the Hades collab as well. He was one of Hades' first early legendaries. Is that fair to say?
Don't spoil everything.
It was a little wrong, but super fun when I got him. Like, it was so much fun.
This dude is, I remember I pulled him very late, like when he was already not good. And I remember I wanted him so bad, this Holy Sword ability. I was like, it's funny. I think about him and I think about actually Knight Errant. You know that guy, Knight Errant?
Yeah.
I think you did a video on him like years ago. And I was like, oh, he's the best nuker ever, you know? And now how the mighty hath fallen here because... both of them.
Yeah, I probably should take that video down now, man. The amount of people are probably like, oh, this guy, he's sent me in the wrong direction.
Yeah, some poor guy on YouTube is like, is Knight Warrant good? Or whatever the hell. Knight Errant good? No, there's probably dozens of those. I feel like there was a lot of videos on him back in the day. But anyway, Holy Sword. I mean, listen, it's been crept. Obviously, they went in. We talked about this at length again on a Hades collab. But they went in, they nerfed enemy max HP, still very good, but we look at those multi-hitters, especially with the Mariuses and the Newts and whatnot, the Acrisias, and all of those champions just continued to power creep. Poor old Septimus, especially Newt. He's also a Spirit Affinity enemy max HP, but he's got 3 hits that all absolutely smack on his Blessed Bash. And built-in
and a bunch more in his kit. This is the thing, right? It's like it's so much more in his kit as well.
Man. I mean, like, he's bringing so much to the table. Poor old Septimus is absolute just trash, you know? I mean, well, maybe I'm being like, I told you on your video that like I still use him in very niche situations, you know, like I use him against the Scarab King and Destroy Gear on a Spirit Affinity only area of Banner Lords. So like when you get really granular, you can get some utility, but man, I would love to see a buff to this dude. Anyway, man, I think that's our list. Those are our 10 worst.
Yeah, that's a 10, man.
Do you have any like any random honorable mentions or anything like that, or is that pretty thorough?
I mean, they're probably the ones that stood out to me. That you could probably go in most factions and pick out another couple. You know, like Helior. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like Tibet. I don't know. Like there's plenty that could go into the mix. They're the ones though that for me that like really stood out as, come on, let's get something done.
Final question for you. Who's the last champion that you pulled that you were kind of excited about, that you were a little disappointed in? Like, it doesn't mean they're the worst champion in the game, but like a little bit just didn't live up to your expectations. And if you need the time to think,
yeah. Well, you go first. You go first. Right. I've got one that I might pick, but let me just.
It was actually a fusion. I was so underwhelmed by Gretel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Gretel, man. She was. It's not like I thought she was going to be a world beater, but. You know, I don't know. I was like, oh my God, super, super, super underwhelmed. What about you?
Yeah. Well, so for me, I recently got one of the mythical champions, actually.
Ooh. Who?
Let me just think.
Hive Lord?
It's the Hive Lord guy.
Yeah. And you didn't like him? Aphidus.
What's his name? Yeah, Aphidus. Yeah, Aphidus. Yeah. So. I don't know, man. Like both of his forms felt pretty legendary to me.
Yeah.
Not mythical, you know? Like I was just like,
oh yeah. Well,
when you get a mythical, don't you feel like nowadays it's like they should be crazy? And yeah, he didn't feel that great. He was good, but not great. Like he's not in any of my teams.
They give him a buff on his base form. They changed the They gave him a lot more damage. So like he's not. Again, it speaks to your account too, because like. Where you're at, you probably just have better damage dealers, right? Like he's not value over replacement. But the things I like about him, I like that he brings the increased attack on everybody from an attack-based champion, so you can kind of check that off. And such good control on his alt form. But to your point, it's like, okay, it's weird. It's like one of the best control kits on the beetle form. Is that a lobster or a beetle? Beetle.
Beetle. Yeah.
He looks cool. Really good control. But then you're like, okay, where exactly other than waves?
Where am I using that form? Like that whole form is just like nothing really.
I like him. I just don't love him. You know, I like him, you know? It's not my fave. Okay. Well, hey, I think it was a pretty thorough video here, Hades. Thanks so much for coming on, man. It's been a minute. Guys, make sure, perfect time. The video's over. You can do 2 things. Number 1 is you can go pre-register for Godforge. And number 2 is you can go check out the collab that we just did on Hades' channel. Another half an hour of us rambling about everything in the world while we record a Raid Shadow Legends video. Hades, thanks again, man. It's always such a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
Guys, thanks for watching until the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe to Hades, obviously, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.